Hi everyone, welcome to Amateur Decorating Like a Pro. I am Catherine.
Now, I am just celebrating all things moss this spring season. It seems that everywhere I go, from stores to online, there are beautiful arrangements, whether it's topiaries or floral arrangements, and they feature moss, and I am in love with it. So guys, I came up with my very own right here. I love them, and I'm here to share with you today how I made these. A lot of your supplies you probably already have, and all you need to do is visit the Dollar Tree and pick up those moss floral decorations, and you're pretty much good to go. But the rest of the list is going to be posted in the information box of this video. Let's go ahead and go to work. Okay, so my plan is to make 2 of the smaller topiaries measuring about 15 inches. So starting at the corner of my poster board, just simply rolling it until the cone starts to form. And I'm going to take my pencil and place my mark on the paper at about 15 inches and using the scissors, of course, to make a simple cut. Now you can continue to roll so that this overlaps if you want to, but you really don't have to. If you want to make it thicker, just keep rolling. Now my original cut was a little rough, so I needed to clean it up. Now go ahead and do a trial run and place your cone inside of your flower pot. Just place a mark there so you'll know just how far to go when you're applying your moss. Now jumping ahead just a little, this is why you place your mark on your poster board. You leave this space so that it fits snugly inside of your flower pot, like so, and it looks nice and neat. I know moss isn't meant to be neat, but it's just my thing. Now prepping the moss was just so therapeutic. You've got 4 different sizes in those smaller bags, so I just took them out, used one of my paring knives, and just chopped them in half lengthwise. That way you get more coverage. Now there is a different way I'm going to show you how to apply these later on without cutting them, but I prefer this method. I wanted mine to be tailored moss trees, so now I can place them in separate plates and quickly pick them up when it's time to attach them to the cone. Now this little fun messy project is being done in the garage. I'm sitting at my upholstery table. I've got a trash can, my tray here, and all of the essentials around me. So if I make a big mess, I just simply sweep it up. Now to begin, I took one of the largest pieces of moss and I borrowed a little hole inside of it. That's this piece here. Now I'm sticking it on top of the cone after applying the hot glue, securing it down with a rubber band. Then we're going to go to the bottom of the cone and work our way upward. That way this is already secure when we get to this area. Now this is the largest of the 3 topiaries, so I figured you'd see me do the most work on this one. Now there is no rhythm or rhyme as to which size you put where. You just start out doing what you want to do. Just play around with the various shapes and sizes. Squirt on your glue and then add your moss on top of it. Now what you don't see is I'm actually squeezing these little moss pieces just like this. This way it kind of circles around or wraps around the cone and it fits snugly. And by the way, it doesn't matter what color your cardboard is, you're going to cover it up anyway. This is really great exercise on my wrist, considering I've got some painting to do.
So now we've talked about how to use this one and how to use that one. So these little guys are basically for filling in little places like that. So literally, seeing how big that is, I'll just remove a little more of the foam because I want to curve it, ball it up in a little ball, like so. And then I want to like fill it in. I just want to fill in the spaces, like that. No glue required for your fill-in. That's how you fill in the spaces on these. Yeah, comparable to the size. You're just tearing that off, squeezing it into a little ball, and then you just kind of tuck in the hole. Just tuck it in. That's how you're filling in your hole. See there? You don't need any glue for that one. And then for the second piece on the other side, you can put another piece. Oops, I broke a little too much off of that one. Here. And then let the foam kind of push it back out, make that little ball for you. And sorry if my cap is getting within view. That's how you're gonna fill it in all the way around. So now let's continue to go further upward. And see this little spot right here in that little piece?
Now, I mentioned this once before that my hot glue gun is plugged into a surge protector. So once it heats up, I actually turn off my surge protector. So now I'm working with warm glue, especially if it's going to come in contact with my fingers. I just love how this is turning out. Isn't this gorgeous? So now you can see the use of the rubber bands. Those are newly applied moss balls, and so I'm securing them to the cone with a little pressure until that glue dries. Now you can just wipe away those little tiny pieces of styrofoam when you're done, because there'll be plenty more coming. So wait until you're finished. Woohoo, my darlings, we are almost done. And those little tiny slender pieces fit perfectly the closer you get to the top of your topiary. And it's so easy to just fit those right in, whether you're doing them vertically or horizontally. That's why you want to cut an assortment of shapes and sizes. I think this is gorgeous. And once again, another reason why you want to work with warm hot glue, shall I say. It just dries so fast and you're able to complete your project very quickly. And look at this. Now, I am considering adding some of the loose moss, something that I had left over from a previous project. So no more glue required. You just lay it on top of those little seams and use the flat side of your knife, not the sharp side, and just push it into the little cracks or seams between the moss, and it fits right underneath the edges. And that's why you don't worry about seeing those little white edges of the moss at all. It just looks so much more natural. Again, this is optional. You may choose to say, hey, I don't even want to fool with the little moss pieces. I just want to leave it as is once I have assembled it, and that's gorgeous as well. Now, if you want further refinement and you want to just trim away the excess little hairs of the moss, that's solely up to you as well. Just use your scissors. Now, I just love my DIY audience, and I realize that I have some people who say, listen, I don't mind it being a little tedious because that's how I roll. But then there's others who say, I just want it quick and easy. So guys, for those of you who want it simple, you can take the Dollar Tree little white cones. I think they're about maybe 8 inches tall, and you can use toothpicks along with those moss decorative items and just insert them into the cone. No cutting required. I will tell you that it looks a little bulky, but it still looks nice. So then you just stack them all the way up to the top. Now, I would suggest that you paint the styrofoam green. I suggest the color Evergreen. It's pretty close to the color of the moss, and that way it'll look more natural, but it really will make a great effect. I think this is still a great idea, this alternative. Now guys, after I had completed the topiary project, there were plenty of scraps left over, and I certainly didn't want to toss them. So using this 9-inch wreath from the Dollar Tree, I'm able to apply those leftover pieces onto the wreath. And of course, you crunch them just a little bit with your hand so that they're curving along with the curves in the wreath, and just apply them using the exact measures that you took with the topiary. And it turns out just fine. Don't worry about those little edges of white showing through, because you're going to fill those in with those pieces of moss. And see, I'm using the flat side of my blade to push the moss in between the pieces. Well, I cut some of the smaller flowers, about maybe 2 inches in length, and I inserted them inside the wreath for this arrangement. Now, I told the guys that when you see this beautiful wreath on my door, I am recording a video. And thus far, because it's so pretty, I've gotten twice the interruptions. You know, also as another touch-up tip, you can also use a green Sharpie to just touch those areas where you can see the little white styrofoam from underneath. And here they are, guys. The one in the middle is 23 inches tall, and the two on the left and on the right, they are 15 inches tall. Now, I probably had about 28 of those moss floral decorations in one bag, and I didn't buy them all at one time. I'd go in and buy 3 or 2, and then it suddenly just all added up for me. So those that I had left over, I used in making my centerpiece for my spring tablescape. But this is very easy to do, guys. I know you're going to enjoy this project either the way I did it or that simplified way, but it's very pretty, and my goal is to bring more green into my home this spring. I hope if you've enjoyed this video, if you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so today. Thanks a lot for watching, and as always, stay in prayer and stay creative.